Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Briefing for Friday, November 14th, 2025. Fire activities ongoing over portions of Utah and western Idaho, and we did have some wildfire activity yesterday with the windy conditions and some lower relative humidities. Precipitation for the past 7 and 14 days shows a very dry trend continuing over Utah and Nevada, even up into parts of Wyoming and Idaho. It's just been a very dry couple of weeks. But that will change as we head into the weekend and the first part of next week. The Eddy drought monitor is also showing the same thing with the very dry conditions for the time of year over Utah and Nevada in particular. Satellite imagery this morning is showing the low pressure center off the California coast. It is going to be moving inland over the next few days, bringing some subtropical moisture, the atmospheric river, into the Great Basin, bringing that much needed precipitation for a multi-day event coming to the area. All right, so let's look at today. For today, again, that low starts to move inland, drawing the moisture up into California. We probably won't see too much precipitation today, maybe across far southern Nevada. We'll look at that in just a second, but definitely moving and getting closer. Ventilation rates are still pretty favorable today. We do have some gusty winds out there ahead of this low, particularly across portions of Nevada and up into northern Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming. Mixing heights are decent for today. And minimum relative humidities are still going to be on the lower side over far southern and southeast Utah, but they have come up, and they've already come up and will continue to come up over Nevada and into parts of western Utah. Maximum temperatures have come down a bit from the last couple of days for today, with highs in the upper 50s near Reno. Still on the warmer side a bit in Utah, but should be starting to trend cooler from yesterday's highs. Saturday, that low continues to move inland over Southern California and spreads that subtropical moisture into southern parts of the Great Basin. Ventilation rates decreasing a bit across the north as the winds lighten up there. So again, winds for Saturday, we'll see some gusty conditions over southern Nevada, Arizona Strip, southwest Utah, and the mixing heights do decrease a bit on Saturday. RHs continue to come up on Saturday as the moisture begins to really move into the southern parts of the Great Basin, and precipitation here is showing mainly southern Nevada, parts of southwest Utah, and the Arizona Strip. We'll start to see the precip beginning on Saturday. Then on Sunday, that closed low moves northward through the Great Basin as it gets drawn up into the flow by this trough off the coast. That will increase precipitation further north, or spread that precip further north, and ventilation rates improving as well. Wind speeds really pick up on Sunday ahead of that next low, and as the little closed low tracks across the Great Basin, and mixing heights are quite high as well on Sunday. Looking at the precipitation on Sunday, definitely more widespread and further north. Decent amounts coming to parts of Utah, western Nevada, some lighter amounts over central Idaho and western Wyoming, but definitely cooler temperatures and higher relative humidities with that precip coming in as well. Highs are going to be in the upper 40s to mid to low 50s across the area on Sunday. Not the coolest temperatures we'll have in the next week, but starting that downward trend. The 3-day precipitation is shown here. Again, the heaviest precip will be to our west and south over California, but we'll see some decent amounts, maybe an inch of precipitation over southern Nevada. Pretty decent here for middle of November, and southwest Utah. We'll also see some of those higher precip totals. A little bit lighter further north as we head through Sunday, but we'll see some more precipitation early next week as well. The clearing index for Utah shows some pretty decent values today, decreasing tomorrow, and then increasing once again on Sunday. On Monday, that next trough begins to swing through. We may see a bit of a break in the precipitation on Monday, but possibly continued breezy conditions. Ventilation rates are decently high on Monday. And then on Tuesday, probably look for another round of precipitation as that low continues to move through, and keeping our ventilation rates somewhat elevated across portions of the area. And then on Wednesday, that low continues to track across the Great Basin. We'll see our temperatures cooler with this next low that moves through, highs probably getting down into the 40s. Ventilation rates looking like they're going to be decent across Utah on Wednesday. And then Thursday, another low coming in off the Pacific into Central California. We'll kind of keep an eye on this guy. There's some uncertainty in the forecast with this progressive pattern, so we'll be watching it as we head into the first part of next week. And then the precipitation totals for the next 7 days are definitely looking much better than what we've had so far this month. Again, decent precip coming to Nevada, especially the southern parts of the Great Basin, southwest Utah. The higher elevations of northern Utah and Idaho will also get some precipitation, some, of course, mid and high elevation snow with this one. The 7-day snow totals again showing here. Looking for some snow coming to many of our mountain locations. Maybe not as much snow as we would have hoped for initially with some of these model runs, but definitely helpful. And the extended forecast for November 21st through the 27th shows a continued below normal temperature signal and slightly above normal precipitation trend for the Great Basin, a little bit higher there over southeast Utah. That concludes today's briefing. Please check back on Monday for the latest updates.